How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you here?
That's difficult to answer.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.
is the end. There's a noise inside my head of crying people facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final
And lastly, we ask that there be no recording or streaming of today's sessions from the floor. And any disruptive behavior in today's session will result in being removed from the call.
We please ask that there will be no recording or streaming of today's sessions from the floor. Any disruptive behavior today could result in being removed from the call. So, just be a nice person. So with a little housekeeping things out of the way, let's jump right in.
Again, we ask no recording or streaming of today's session.
We ask that there be no recording or streaming of today's session from the floor. Any disruptive behavior in today's session will result in being removed from the call.
Und weil der Mensch ein Mensch ist, drum braucht er was zum Essen, bitte sehr. Es macht ihn ein Geschwätz nicht satt, das schafft kein Essen her. Drum links, zwei, drei, drum links, zwei, drei, wo dein Platz genossen ist, weil ich in die Arbeit einmeinst und weil du auch ein Arbeiter bist. Und weil der Mensch ein Mensch ist, drum hat der Stiefel im Gesicht nicht gern. Er will unter sich keinen Sklaven sehen und über sich keinen Herrn. Drum links, zwei, drei, drum links, zwei, drei, wo dein Platz genossen ist, weil dich in die Arbeiter einreißt und weil du auch ein Arbeiter bist. Und weil der Prolet ein Prolet ist, drum wird ihn kein anderer befreien. Es kann die Befreiung der Arbeiter nur das Werk der Arbeiter sein. Drum links, zwei, drei, drum links, zwei, drei, und ein Platz genossen ist, weil dich in die Arbeiter einreißt und weil du auch ein Arbeiter bist.
Здравствуйте, comrades. Welcome to Socialism Saturday. A little bit of a later version of Socialism Saturday because, guys, do you know what I just did? Do you know what I just did? It wasn't just me. It was me and a bunch of intrepid warriors. Hang on, I'm gonna cough. Still sick. Hang on. It was me and a bunch of intrepid warriors, and we spent the last 8 hours watching socialism. I've already watched 8 hours of socialism today, because today was day 1 of our 2-day. So we're going to do another 8 hours tomorrow. And I don't want to hear any fucking complaints. You get out of bed, you show up, you watch the socialism, you find out what's going on, because I'll tell you what, man, we struck absolute gold in today's spy stream. For people who've never been to a spy stream before, spy stream is when we infiltrate a live leftist training. And in this case, we are infiltrating a 2-day leftist propaganda conference. And the vast majority of the people speaking and participating in this conference work for publicly funded institutions. And I'm not going to tell you what those institutions are. I'm just going to tell you that they're publicly funded. And I'm going to tell you that things I heard today might be illegal. I'm pretty sure at least one of the things that I heard today was pretty fucking illegal. But, I mean, obviously the Trump administration is not going to do anything about it. And if things go unenforced, then really, are they really illegal? I don't know. But if you want to see the insanity for yourself, if you want to catch up on the replay, the on-demand replay, guys, just so you guys know, when I do a spy stream, the on-demand replay is always available if you can't make it live. Just go to the spy stream post on whatever platform you're a supporter on, whether that be on YouTube, Locals, Patreon, Twitter subscribers, or my favorite, the main Substack, Karlyn, Karlyn.substack.com. Just go to the post, scroll down, you'll find the on-demand video. The on-demand video is always available. If you can't find it and you're looking for it, just let me know and I will show you where to go. But I got to tell you, we heard some shit today on today's spy stream, and I've already watched 8 hours of socialism, and I'm going to do another 8 hours of socialism tomorrow. So if you haven't yet signed up as a member, either on the Substack, become a member of the YouTube channel, support it in the other ways. If you want to join us, you still can for tomorrow. We got a whole day 2 going on. And it's absolutely insane. So if I seem a little haphazard tonight, just know that I'm here. I'm digging deep tonight, guys. I'm going to do a Socialism Saturday on top of watching 8 hours of socialism. I will probably watch at least, well, I have to be done by 10 p.m. That's the only caveat I have. We actually do have to get into it pretty quick, so I do have to be done by 10 p.m. So, because I have an interview at 10 p.m. because I was stupid and agreed to that. So you guys, here's what we're watching tonight. I found 2 presentations. They're rather short. They're only half-hour long each. Apparently, the communists in Vermont recently had a conference in which they organized, they talked about organizing against Trump. And you guys know, this is not progressive organizing. This is communist organizing. This is communist organizing, okay? Because it's in Vermont and there's no one more commie than the commies in Vermont. So they didn't record all their sessions, but they did record 2 of them. Did I pull up the website for this? Hang on, where the fuck is the website? I thought I pulled that up. Hang on, well, I'll tell you where, well, maybe if we go into the description. So you can see here is the conference. What the fuck? 404 error. I accessed this earlier today. That's the Spanish version. How is this a 404 error? That doesn't even make sense. Did they take it down? Did they take it? Look at this. The leftist events in Vermont are with a fist. Wow, I gotta visit this website more often. Did they take the website down? Because I swear to God, I clicked on that link. Maybe it was on the other one. Hang on. This is actually confusing me now. Was it that one? Does this one work? I definitely got to this website earlier. Hang on 1 second. I want to see if I can find, because I had another browser with this up, but I have 8,000 browser windows open. Ah, fuck, I think I closed it. Shit, that's crazy, though. Did they take it down? Well, I guess we'll have to investigate that later. But this was definitely at a very far left conference in Vermont. And so they didn't record all of the sessions. And the reason I was looking for it is they had a session list on there. And so, I mean, maybe it's archived or something. We'll have to look into that. But they do have a couple of them recorded. The first session they had recorded is Building the Resistance to Trump. The second session they had recorded is Where Do We Go From Here? Apparently, these are their two opening and closing keynotes. And so we're going to watch those and we're going to see what the deal is. It's not a matter of the search history. It's a matter of, I think they deleted the page. That's what it's a matter of. It's a matter of, I think they deleted the page, because I definitely accessed it like exactly this way earlier when I was trying to figure out what to watch. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe I can find it if I look it up real quick. Hang on, let's see. Let's see. People, not that one. This one. Is it this one? Okay, where's the link? Found it. Boom. Got it. So here is the original webpage. Now we have it again. That's good. So you can see they're doing all sorts of very, very I wish they had recorded this. Organizing defense campaigns amidst the new McCarthyism. Oh man, we missed out on this one. If I had known this was going on in Vermont, I would have just driven right up to it and I would have gone myself. Anyway, so you can see this was a whole conference, but we only have the opening keynote and the closing keynote. And so that is what we have to work with. That is what we have to work with here today. Thank you, Jack, for starting us off with the first super chat of the night. Guys, if you want to support the work I'm doing, super chats are an awesome way to do it. I would appreciate it. Have you reviewed the book, The Gulag Archipelago, on video or anywhere else? No, I have not. Do you want to know why I haven't done it? Because The Gulag Archipelago is a long fucking book. It's a long fucking book. Now, I've listened to part of it. I haven't listened to the whole thing. I do audiobooks for the most part. I have not yet gotten through that entire book. And the reason is it's not actually relevant to my methodology. Because what I do is I look at the far left in America today, like what they're doing today. I think it's what I've listened to is awesome. I have enjoyed every part of the book that I have listened to so far, but it is a long ass fucking book and I am extremely busy. And if I had all the time in the world, I absolutely would listen to the whole thing, but it is a long ass book and we're not going to talk about that book. No. But I do recommend everyone, if you have the inclination and the time to start it, I do think it is worthy of your attention based on what I've heard. So far, I just have not finished the whole thing because it's a long effing book. It's a long book. In the Richard Spencer Zoom calls, he bullies disruptions, and then we all call the one who did it a loser and a faggot, and they apologize. See, this is the way I wish my community worked. This is the way I wish my community worked. I mean, it kind of does, if we're honest. I mean, I don't go so far as to call them the F word, because I feel like I hold that back to like when it's really appropriate. But I feel like that is the type of spirit I would like to have in my community. If someone is disruptive and annoying, everyone else bullies them until they shut the fuck up and conform. In fact, like I am more committed to that than ever. The amount of people who've called me fat in the last 2 weeks and made whole people, do you guys understand? People have made whole fucking Twitter threads about my weight. Like it's like an out of control obsession in the minds of retards is my weight. And it's kind of like, you know, have you like where the fuck's your wife? Where the fuck's your girlfriend? I mean, my God, like I'm a married woman, you evil sons of bitches. And so like I kind of think that first of all, no one who's making fun of me like that like has ever watched 8 hours of socialism in a row in their lives, so they can just go fuck themselves. But more importantly, when we have people that are being disruptive or annoying like that, we need to bully them until they either shut the fuck up or start conforming to our group norms, which is our group norms is we do not act like unhinged retards on the internet. No, this is what I want. There we go. We do not act like unhinged retards on the internet. And that's just the way it goes. And if people want to be disruptive, I don't care. We'll go over the rules in a little bit. But actually, you know what? This is perfect. Before we get into the sessions, let's do the rules. Oh, actually, we have one more question. Any Marshmallow Fluff lovers out there? Yeah, Marshmallow Fluff is fucking awesome. Do you want to know when Marshmallow Fluff is at its best? Marshmallow Fluff is at its best when you buy it and you eat like part of it because you want to have a fluffernutter, and because that's the only that really is the only reason to buy marshmallow fluff, is that you're like, I would really like a fluffernutter right now, because fluffernutters are basically the best sandwich ever invented. They're so awesome. You get some really good high-end peanut butter. You can do it with any peanut butter, I guess, but get some really good peanut butter. Have yourself a fluffernutter. And then you take the marshmallow fluff and you put it in the back of the cabinet. And this is really important because it's not like you can have a fluffernutter every day, okay? I mean, I guess you could, but that's like a lot of sugar. A fluffernutter is like a special treat every once in a while. You can't eat a fluffernutter every day. So what you do when you're done making your first fluffernutter is you take the fluff and you put it in the back of the cabinet so that you forget it's there. And then about a year later, you start cleaning out your cabinet and you find the fluff. And by the time you find the fluff again and you're like, holy shit, I bought this fluff and I totally forgot about it because I put it in the back of the cabinet. By the time you find your fluff again, it will have crystallized into some magic on top, where now you've got like some crystals going in amongst the fluff because it's been sitting in the back of your cabinet for over a year. And then you get some really good peanut butter and you make a second fluffernutter, because the older fluff that is crystallized, it's basically the best thing I've ever had in my life. I'm not gonna lie. I've only done this particular thing once, and I still remember it. I still remember it to this day. I'm like, God damn, that fluffernutter was the best fucking fluffernutter I ever had, with the crystallized fluff, because I left it in the back of the cabinet and I forgot about it. That's the tip. That's the trick. And so now you all have to go out and buy a thing of fluff tomorrow and just have one fluffernutter and then put that in the back of your cabinet and just let it age. Just let it age. Maybe even set a little alarm on your phone or something like that. Just let it go. And in a year's time, you will have the most amazing fluffernutter you've ever had in your life. And you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're not going to get diabetes from having one fluffernutter. Okay. Fucking relax. Not everything needs to be that serious. All right. So we are going to get into the show because I have an interview I need to do at 10. I do want to play the rules video before we get started. And if you are new to Socialism Saturday, welcome. We appreciate everyone being new here. We are not socialists. We are not communists. Although inevitably some conservative tonight will think that we are and will make a fool out of themselves in my chat. That's totally fine. We'll laugh at them, we'll bully them, and we'll send them on their fucking way, because we are anti-communists here, no matter how many people try to gatekeep me because they don't like that my work's better than theirs. That we are anti-communists. We are watching radical revolutionary socialism on the internet to educate ourselves about what the socialists in our midst are doing. We are like researchers. We are like Jane Goodall out in the jungle observing the gorilla. We are not of the gorilla. We are observing the gorilla. And that's what it's like. We basically have an open air zoo of socialists right in front of us. We are not of the socialists. We are but sitting back and observing the socialists and learning what we can and learning their language and learning what they're up to and learning how they're strategizing and stuff like that. That's what we do on Socialism Saturday. I've been doing this a long ass time, and I know there are some things that we have to set in place, some rules, if you will, to make these streams go smoothly. This is an educational stream and a research stream. And so if you are new to Socialism Saturday, or even if you're not new, but maybe you haven't been here in a minute, here are the rules. I need everyone to pay attention to this quick informational video. All right, for anyone that's new, we have some rules for Socialism Saturday. Let me go over them real quick. Socialism Saturday is a research group and a class. We do take this seriously. You're allowed to have fun. You're allowed to have a drink or two. You're allowed to kind of kick back and joke in the chat. However, I need everyone to understand that when we are researching the radical revolutionary left, we do take this seriously. And so if you're shitposting in my chat, I'm going to tell you to stop. If you are posting off topic in the chat, I'm going to ask you to stop at some point, because it's going to be distracting to what we're doing. I need you to think of yourself as in a classroom. And I'm not talking about an online classroom. I'm talking about a real life classroom, okay? When you walk into a real life classroom, I am the teacher, you are the students. You are sitting in the desk, I am sitting in the front of the classroom. I'm standing there teaching you what is going on. If you were in a real life classroom, you wouldn't walk in, start throwing shit at the wall, yelling, saying, I disagree with you because my best friend said something different. That's not allowed. I don't care about your feelings. I'm not going to coddle your opinion. And that's going to be the way it is. And if you don't like it, you don't have to be here. But if you are in my classroom, you will respect my rules and you will listen to me. And if you do not do that, then you will be removed. And how you feel about being removed makes no difference to me at all. The expectation is if you're going to be here and you're going to be watching socialism with us and you're going to be participating in the chat, you are doing it because you are serious about learning this topic and understanding this topic. The minute that I think that you're just fucking around or you're trolling or something like that, you're going to get put in a timeout or permanently banned, and that's just going to be the way it is. Rule number 2, don't be a dick. Do not insult me. Do not insult other people in the chat. I can do whatever I want because I am the queen fascist bitch of my YouTube channel. So I can say and do whatever I want. But if you don't insult me and you don't insult other people in the chat, we're not going to have a problem. So be an adult, rein that shit in. Number 3, no whining. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care if you feel personally attacked. It makes no difference to me at all. And I promise you, I care about your feelings a little bit more than the left does. So if you can't handle me, you can't handle the left. If you start whining and complaining because you don't like the rules or you think you're being treated unfairly, you can just leave, bro. There's the door. You don't have to be here. Number 4, listen. Our job here and why we do Socialism Saturday is to listen to what the left is saying, to listen to what real leftists are doing in the real world. This is not to support your confirmation bias. This is not to support any conservative bullshit narrative that you may have heard on Glenn Beck that one time. This is not to be what you want it to be. This is to engage with reality. We need to listen, we need to actively listen, and we need to understand the left better than they understand themselves. That is the purpose of this exercise, okay? As part of that, I do ask that people refrain from debunking. You do not have a single debunk in your arsenal about the left is stupid because of reasons X, Y, B, and Z, or the left is terrible hypocrites for reasons X, Y, B, and Z. You don't have a single debunk that we haven't heard before, okay? And every time you put energy into debunking, that is energy that you're not putting into listening. So if I see you debunking, I'm going to tell you to stop, because you need to put that energy into listening instead. Lastly, break the rules of my chat or disrespect me in any way, and I'll just kick you out, and that's the way it is. All right, I need to see one in the chat. Does everyone agree to the rules of the chat? The rules of the chat are simple. Don't be a dick. No whining. Please refrain from debunking as much as possible because the people in the video can't actually hear you, as it turns out. And no change will be made by debunking. One in the chat if you agree to the rules. I know sometimes people are new, like the urge to resist debunking can be hard. You've got to train yourself to do it. Our goal here is to listen to the communist, to observe the communist. We do not agree with the communist. We do not internalize what the communist is saying, but we have to listen to them if we're going to understand them, and we cannot beat them if we don't understand them. So thank you for respecting the rules. Bot, go fuck yourself. And we have to get right into it. Please make sure you have mounted the like button for me, guys, if you would be so kind. Please make sure you have subscribed to the channel if you are not already. I stream Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. We do Socialism Saturdays on Saturdays at 6 p.m. I may do protest coverage tonight. I might. We're going to have to see. But remember, I do have to be up early tomorrow to do spy stream all over again. So I may not as well. And you're just going to have to forgive me because I got other stuff going on. Anyway, we're going to start first with the Building Resistance to Trump session. You'll notice this took place at Winooski High School in Winooski, Vermont. Winooski, for people who are unfamiliar with the bustling metropolis of Vermont, Winooski is near Burlington. Burlington is the largest city in Vermont, and it is about 75% communist. And for people who don't know, one of the reasons I keep bye. Nope, we're not doing that. I do have a great ass. That is absolutely true. I do have a great ass. But I'm the one that's allowed to comment on my ass. You're not allowed to comment on my ass, okay? That is like inappropriate and uncalled for, sir. Anyway, for people who don't know, one of the reasons we keep an eye on Vermont is that I'm actually originally from Vermont. I grew up in Vermont. I voted for Bernie Sanders every election I could. I lived about an hour south of Burlington, so I am deeply familiar with the communist utopia of Vermont. Okay, and I strongly believe that Vermont is like, you guys think New York is going to hell in a handbasket? Vermont is the actual incubator of communism. It's not actually New York City. Vermont is way more communist than New York, and the communism in Vermont is just pervasive to literally everyone. Vermont should be walled off as like a communist experimentation ground. It's like that is where we send people when we find it's like we create our own penal colony of communists. We need to do that in the state of Vermont because it is really effing communist. That's why I live in New Hampshire now, because New Hampshire's way better. Anyway, let's get this party started.
Yes, I have. Awesome. What's your first name? everyone. Thanks for coming today. Hi, I'm pleased to welcome
No, I
you to
want to point something out. On the stage here, they've got a giant ass sign that says an injury to one is an injury to all. What does this have to do with Queers for Palestine? Pop quiz for the chat. They have a giant ass sign that says an injury to one is an injury to all. What does that have to do with the concept of Queers for Palestine? Please explain, as though I don't know what I'm talking about. What does it mean to say an injury to one is an injury to all? No one is free until everyone is free. True. What else does that mean? How does this relate to Queers for Palestine? Is Queers for Palestine just about chickens for KFC? Or does Queers for Palestine mean something else? This video is from like a week ago. This video is very, very, very new. This video is from, okay, I'm sorry. Well, no, it's actually about a week ago, October 29th. This is a very, very new video. It's like the last week or so. What is the sign on the stage mean? Let me see. Solidarity with all who are oppressed under capitalism. Yup, exactly. Guys, please stop giving one-word answers when I ask you questions. Because most of the time, like, okay, let me just play this out, James D. If I don't know anything about socialism, and I saw that sign and I said, an injury to one is an injury to all, what the fuck does that mean? And you just said collectivism, you have articulated like zero information. You haven't actually answered the question. And so please, and I'm not just saying you, I'm saying everyone, please stop giving me one-word answers when I give you pop quizzes, because you are going to be wrong and I'm going to start calling you out on it. Solidarity of all groups, kind of. What does that mean? We are all hurt by capitalism until it is abolished for all. Now we're actually getting somewhere. An injury to one is an injury to all means we are all hurt by capitalism until it is abolished for everyone. That is a proper definition, guys. We cannot just give one-word answers to things when people are trying to understand. They are all oppressed by capitalism, so if one is injured, it affects them all. That's what Queers for Palestine means. It means Palestinians are oppressed by capitalism because the Israelis are the settler colonists who stole the land from the Palestinians. Queers are oppressed by capitalism because queer is an anti-normative far-left political ideology designed to destabilize capitalism. They're both in the same fight. They are both oppressed by the same thing. That is what that sign has to do with Queers for Palestine. All right.
Hi, I'm pleased to welcome you to the Winooski School District. My name is Annie Schneider, and I'm a high school teacher here. I'm also a member of the Winooski Educators Association, and I serve as the vice president. We are so pleased to be hosting this event, and we welcome you to our school campus. Please note that food and drink are not allowed.
So the teachers union is hosting the Resist Trump event at the publicly funded high school. And welcome into our public schools, guys. Let's talk about how we want to overthrow the government.
In this space, you can eat and drink anywhere else on our campus, but we keep this space nice for our students, so please respect that. If you need the bathrooms, they're right through those doors in the lobby. Last year, we in the WEA joined the community here in Winooski to push for and pass a sanctuary schools policy.
Oh! What does a sanctuary schools policy mean? Anyone know? Does anyone know what it means? We just passed a sanctuary schools policy. What does that mean? What does that mean? Pop quiz. I know there's a slight delay between when I ask you something and when you actually answer. What does it mean that they passed a sanctuary schools? Yeah, that prevents ICE from going on school grounds. They will not allow ICE anywhere near students or employees, not just students or employees. And so what that means is they are not going to allow ICE, resisting ICE from coming into schools, exactly. No ICE is to protect illegals from being deported. And it means they're also proactively probably doing like stuff with their illegal students and their families to teach them how not to be deported. It means do not cooperate with the federal government pertaining to the undocumented. Yep, that's exactly right. So it kind of seems like the school district in Winooski is in open rebellion against the Trump administration. Gee golly, I wish they would do something about that. If only someone had told the Trump administration months and months and months and months and months and months and months ago that basically every school district in the state of Vermont, this is not just Winooski, every school district in the state of Vermont is in open rebellion against the Trump administration, like all of them. It's all through the teachers' unions. We've watched multiple presentations about this. If only someone like me had told the Trump administration that, I don't know, back in like February or March, oh wait, I did, and they didn't do anything because Harmeet Dillon is not best friends with me, and they're only going to do shit if I'm best friends with Harmeet Dillon or Pam Bondi or Kash Patel or someone else in the Trump administration. So basically, the Trump administration is allowing the open rebellion of like every school district in Vermont right now because they are fucking lazy, because they never actually, I used capital letters one time in a DM and Harmeet didn't like that. And therefore, ergo, they're not going to do anything about this. That's the way our government works, guys.
This movement building engaged many in our community and brought us together to let the board know that we support our immigrant students and all people who are vulnerable in this time of ICE raids and other attacks. The Trump administration may be spreading fear, but we are building solidarity and people power.
Solidarity, comrades! Solidarity!
We will stand with the most vulnerable and say, enough is enough. Today's conference is about all of us, the people. We are here to organize together, to break bread, to learn from each other, to celebrate our victories, and to plan our next moves. The People's Summit is a coalition of unions and social organizations gathered together, currently called May Day Strong Vermont.
Oh!
You can find the full list of organizations and unions involved in your flyer. Today, we'll start with a panel before moving into a breakout session, lunch, and then more breakout sessions, ending with dinner. You can find all the details and times, again, in your program flyer. I have a few announcements before we start our panel. The first is about the meeting of Vermont May Day Strong. It is on November 11th at Migrant Justice. If you want to help plan May Day and be involved in other ways, you should attend. The second announcement is a call for donations. Today's summit is completely free. There will be donation buckets at registration and passed in the auditorium. The money will go to the Green Mountain Labor Council to pay for the cost of the conference and for seed money for May Day 2026 and other labor and social movement protests.
Wow.
If you have funds to contribute, please do. The other announcements are about childcare and prayer. Childcare is available in the cafeteria. Two of our wonderful Winooski students who have a lot of experience with kids are here.
When they say prayer, what kind of prayer do they mean? Pop quiz. When they say prayer, we're going to talk about childcare and prayer. What kind of prayer do you think they mean? I'm curious if I'm right about this, but we're going to see what you guys think. Hey, thanks, Andre, for the super chat. I wonder if the manhunt for a leftist indoctrinated by communist teachers that shot the ICE jet today in Chicago is about the school programs. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. What kind of prayer do you guys think they're talking about? What type of people need to pray throughout the day at different times during the day? Ain't Christians, man. Christians don't need a special place to play, a special place to pray. Yeah, we're talking about fucking Muslims. They're doing prayer time for. I promise you, it's about the fucking. It's not about the Christians. It is about Muslims. I promise you.
To take care of our kids, which is wonderful. Room 157, which is that way, is a non-denominational prayer space.
Non-denominational.
Now let me introduce our panel.
Why would Christians or any other denomination need a room to pray in during the day, just like throughout the day for no reasons? That is for Muslims.
Our panelists today are from a variety of local organizations. and are speaking to how we are collectively building the resistance to Trump and his policies.
Oh.
Our first panelist will be Claire Whitehouse from UVM Staff United.
Oh, a UVM staff member, a UVM union staff member. UVM, for people who don't know, is the University of Vermont. It is the flagship university in Vermont. It is a publicly funded school in Vermont. It is an incredibly large school that basically takes up the entire city of Burlington. Thank you, Jack. Before watching you, I thought leftist ideology was simply a way for insane people to gain moral status. Anti-capitalism didn't seem like the focus. I know. Isn't it funny that when you actually listen to the left, you find out they believe completely different things than what right-leaning influencers told you? I'm really sorry that you weren't given this information before, Jack, but I am glad you found me now. And listen, again, I just show you what the left is saying in the real world. And so if you all of a sudden are confused about why you're hearing capitalism so much from the left here, but you don't hear that on right-leaning media, take it up with them. I didn't create these documents. I'm just showing them to you.
Followed by Abel Luna from Migrant Justice. Aaron Carter from Vermont National Educators Association.
Oh, the Vermont Teachers Union. All right, all right.
And ending with Jaina Asaf from Free Her. Thank you, panelists, for coming, and thank you, audience, for listening. We will not have time for questions in this session. Each panelist will speak for 6 minutes before passing the mic. Please give a warm round of applause to our panelists.
Hello, everyone. My name is Claire Whitehouse. I do social science research at the Center for Rural Studies at UVM, and I'm co-president of UVM Staff United. So the Trump administration began targeting higher education its very first week in office. This isn't surprising. Anyone who's studied the history of the 20th century knows that every fascist regime comes for universities as one of their first targets. The lever they're using in this attack is federal research grants. And their bogeymen are DEI and Palestine activism. Their goal is to scare university administrators into doing their dirty work for them. Their dirty work is to shutter DEI programs, to fire workers and expel students who speak on Palestine, and to end trustworthy science that aims to reduce bias, especially on climate change and health equity issues. So in some ways, this is clarifying, right? Because as unions, what we do is put pressure on our bosses. And because the Trump administration is putting pressure on our bosses from one direction, it's on us to put pressure from the other.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah?
Our labor at universities gives us the power to pressure our administrators to stand up against these attacks and to push back against their complicity when it happens. That, in addition, the fact that Trump is attacking higher ed directly and coming in many cases for our jobs, especially research-funded jobs, makes...
Hang on. I've got a question here. It just took me a minute to decipher the question. Thank you, Remy, for the question. You always hear liberal white women, and I see a lot on your channel. So first off, to be very clear, this woman we are watching right now is not a liberal. There is no reality, Remy, in which you see liberal white women on my channel. You do not see liberal white women on my channel. Do you want to know why? Liberals and socialists are not the same thing. Liberals and communists are not the same thing. Communists and socialists hate liberals. So we are not looking at a liberal white woman right now. We are looking at a communist. But the question you're actually asking is, do you think right-leaning media is correct when they say men are there just to get laid? No. That's one of the stupidest things that listen, right-leaning media says a lot of stupid things about socialists and communists. They say they don't have jobs. This person is the president of or at least a member of the faculty union at University of Vermont. That means they have jobs. These people all have fucking jobs. Anyone who tells you they don't have jobs is lying. They say they don't really know what they want. They do know what they want. They have a list of demands. They do it all the time. And that one that you just brought up, men are only there to get laid. I don't hear that one as much, but I do know exactly what you're talking about. No! The men who are at these events believe what they're doing is real. They're not there just to get laid. That's like one of the, in fact, I cannot tell you how stupid that is based on my experience covering this for a while. So yes, please stop listening to conservative bullshit con artists when it comes to the left, because the fact that you don't know that that's a socialist and not a liberal is just like indicative of how much the right does not understand about the enemy they claim to be fighting. Anyway, let's continue.
It's easier to do political speech as unions in this moment, because it's easy to explain to our members why we're standing up against the federal government. They're attacking us directly. They've taken people's jobs from our unions. At UVM, the transition to a new federal administration happened at the same time as the leadership transition at the university. This year, we started with a new president, a new chief financial officer, and the old HR lead left right at the beginning of this academic year. So, Ellen Wu's in the background. When the Trump administration first started, we had an interim president, right? And so there was a little bit of like navigating the power dynamics of our own university at the same time as we try to push back against these attacks. The new president, who began in July, she's braver and shrewder than our past administration, and this makes her a different kind of opponent, right? She's a lot smarter, frankly, and a better communicator. We believe her values to be in the right place, at least when it comes to academic freedom, but the proof will be in the pudding, and the pudding is not done yet. We're not taking anything for granted. Throughout the past 10 months, cross-campus solidarity has been essential, the same way it has been before the Trump administration, right? In some ways, we're not inventing the wheel here. And the experience our unions had about a year ago when UVM threatened the quality of our health insurance, we banded together. And that gave us experience working with each other that we jumped on when the Trump administration came into power. Collaboration is not easy, right? But it's necessary, right? And it requires that we navigate as different unions representing different constituencies, differences of perspective, priorities, tactics, and communication is important. It's essential, but our solidarity has to happen, right?
Solidarity has to happen, comrades. Solidarity, comrades.
So just to go over some things we've done together as campus unions. In February, 4 of our unions came together along with students and had a rally, saying we protect ourselves and calling on the administration to make some proactive moves to protect immigrant community members and queer and trans community members. This rally resulted in a meeting with the interim president. Again, we were navigating this gap of power, and the administration really didn't cede to our demands, right? We then came together in July to fight back against an internal policy at UVM that would require, I don't to get into all of it. It was requiring everyone to show their papers proving their family relationships in order to keep their family on their health insurance. And again, it was very clear to our members the way that our boss is asking for our papers connected with these federal issues, right? And that fight against the internal policy, we connected back to what's going on federally. And this summer-long campaign, which we won, build significant structure and collaboration between our unions that now we're using for the next fight. which is to stand up against, pressure our administration to stand up against this loyalty oath that the Trump administration is trying to get all higher ed institutions to sign, which would basically make research funding conditional on ideological loyalty.
Yes.
We're building the expectation that UVM won't sign, and we're planning a rally to coordinate with other rallies across the country to say, higher ed's not going to stand for this. And the most important piece of this too, like one of our main asks as we go into this in the next month, is pushing our administrators to think like organizers, right? And band together with other institutions of higher ed in coalition to stand up against this. So we have a lot of experience, we have a lot to offer, we know how to work together, we know how to build solidarity, and we can teach that to our bosses as well, and stand up against this together. Thank you.
Who are you?
Call the migrant justice team to come up here. Give me a hand.
You sound like you speak Spanish.
Buenos dias. Good morning.
Buenos dias.
Every single one of you. My name is Sabrina Luna, and I'm an organizer with Migrant Justice. Just very briefly, for those of you that don't know about migrant.
This is a migrant justice organization. Vermont is 98% fucking white. I don't want to be hearing any fucking Spanish at a presentation coming out of Vermont. Like, I can't even. I had to listen to Spanish today, too, in this thing we did. Man, migrant justice organizing in Vermont. Are you shitting me?
Migrant Justice is a nonprofit organization started by migrant farm workers in the state of Vermont, and it's led by migrant farm workers to this day. And the goal and the mission of Migrant Justice is to, come together, bring our community together, so that together we can,
one in the chat for deport.
Together we can
two in the chat for they can stay.
Take collective action.
One for
deport.
Two for they can stay.
That people are facing, whether that's on a farm, on a construction site, or on a restaurant. And that's important, because that's the only way that we can fight against unfair policies and unfair regimes, just like the Trump administration. As we've seen, our communities, not just the migrant community, but all communities, or all of our communities are under attack. People are getting detained, families being separated, children being
That's because
taken away
you are
from their families, their
illegal.
parents.
You are not
Some people
supposed to be
disappear in the
here.
immigration system. It's really hard to find people. That has been our experience since Migrant Justice was started. It's nothing new. Detentions,
You are
deportation,
not supposed to
separation of
be
families
here,
is nothing new
senor.
in the state of Vermont. But this is why we need to continue to come together. This is why we organize. This is why we need to have a sound plan and a sound strategy so that we can take that collective action and
collective action.
Together, we can change things around. And we've seen that, coming together, in coalition and fighting back. We've seen a lot of people being, have been released from prison, from ICE, from detentions. Dozens of our community members, are back home with their families, and unfortunately, a lot of people, we haven't been able to get them out, but that is why we're here. There's a quote by one of our members that said, we came out of the shadows, and we're not going to go back there. We've won we had multiple victories, and in times that were even more difficult, in times where there was a lot more repression to our communities. And so we know how to win. We know, how to take on the streets. And this is why we're, exactly the reason why we're in this space, because we need to build something stronger, something that goes just beyond one organization or two organizations. We need to build a collective movement, for the future, not just to
We need to build a
Trump,
collective movement.
Whatever Trump is doing, but there will be more and more and more people just like him, and we need to build something stronger. So I really want to give a huge shout out to the people that put this together, because it's really hard, as you can see, to get the working class out of work. People are, struggling, surviving, trying to, keep their head above water, barely making ends meet, trying to pay rent, trying to put food on our table. And sometimes it feels like another meeting and another gathering of, another conversation is not the solution. And that's exactly what the people
Another
that feel that they're
conversation is
empowered,
not the solution.
that's exactly what they want us to feel. They want the migrants against the non-migrant fighting each other. They want, white people against people of color fighting each other. And that we played into that for a really long time. And enough is enough.
You know what I honestly can't wait for? And again, I'm going on hour 9 of socialism today. If you're just joining for Socialism Saturday, you have to understand I've already watched 8 hours of socialism before this today. Do you know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for when people like this actually start their violent revolution, and conservatives who have been shit-talking them for years and years and years going, this is what conservatives do all the time in my replies. They're like, oh yeah, I'd like to see them try. We have all the guns. We're gonna do it. It was Civil War, 1776. It's like, I cannot wait until these people actually start their violent revolution, because conservatives aren't going to know what the fuck is going on. They're not going to know what hit them, because they have been dismissing these people for years and years and decades, and they lie about them and they make shit up that's not hinged into reality. They have no idea who they're fighting. And so when the violent revolution comes, and I do believe it's going to come in the next 10 to 15 years, when the violent revolution comes, we're gonna actually see a lot of conservatives shitting in their pants, hiding under their fucking bed, praying that they're going to survive the fucking night. I mean, I promise you that's exactly what's going to go on. And when it does, I will laugh and laugh and laugh and say, I tried to tell you, you stupid motherfuckers. I tried to tell you. You didn't want to listen. All you wanted to do was own the libs. And you know what, man? I fully accepted the fact that I'm going to get shot when the communists take over. I'm minimally going to get put into the gulag or something like that. I have absolutely thought about turning over lists of conservatives to the communists to gain favor in the new revolution, and I probably would do that. I'm not sacrificing myself for your asses, I'll tell you that. But like, it's just like, man, it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. Frank, thank you for the super chat. 2 quick facts. All persons here illegally need to be deported immediately. All communists need to be jailed. Yeah, well, the Trump administration should get right on that, Frank. I do appreciate the super chat.
And I say that because this time it's different. It sounds different. It feels different. Things hurt differently than they did before. Everything is a risk, not just your neighbors, not just your healthcare system or the education system. The very basic human rights, to speak up and live your voices. That is a risk. And if we don't...
Do you guys, sorry, this last thing I want to say on this. Do you guys, for those of you who watched the Enrique Tarrio interview yesterday, if you watched the whole thing, I don't think we watched this on my channel afterwards, but there was a moment when Enrique Tarrio asked me, did you really say you were going to turn over lists of conservatives? And I said, I was like, in my head, I think what I said was, well, I was probably making a joke, but like, I think like what actually in my head I was thinking is, yeah, I would. I 1,000% would. If the communists take over and they say, Karlyn, you can curry favor with us by turning over all the conservatives, I'm be like, do you have a pen? I will make you a fucking list right now. I'll make you a fucking list. Enrique Tarrio, JD DeLay, Chad Canton, all the conservative retards on Twitter being on that list. Tim fucking Pool's gonna be. I will make a fucking list. I will give them every conservative I've ever met that has ever shit talked me or made a fat joke or anything like that. And there's there's really no choice. Like if I can make a list of conservatives and turn it over to the future communist regime in which to curry favor because I tried to warn you assholes for years and you didn't listen. So you know what? Now you can go to the fucking gulag. I don't give a fuck anymore. I tried. I failed. Yeah, James Lindsay would be on it. Frank would be on it. Yeah, absolutely. 1000%. Yep, I would do that.
Put our differences, our really small differences that we have as working class people to the side, we're not going to get anywhere. So we,
JD DeLay, let's just be very clear. JD DeLay is a retard and an intellectually like a con artist. He's a con artist. Bro was in prison. We should have known better than to ever think he was gonna be like do the right thing. JD DeLay is an ignorant, incompetent, intellectually dishonest fool. And I don't buy that he's an independent. I don't buy it at all. I don't believe it at all. Independents tend to be much smarter than that guy is. And independents, quite frankly, tend to be a lot more intellectually honest than that guy is. So no, I don't believe it. JD DeLay's a retard MAGA supporter, and that's all he is. And you know what? It's better to know it sooner rather than later, I'll tell you that.
We've seen this pattern, the simple fact of raising up and speaking up and telling the side of their story, the side of your story, your experience can land you in prison, can land you in jail 30 or 40 years. We've seen that with the brothers and sisters in Ecuador, that are being killed right now. This is a pattern, not just in the US, but across the world. Our rights are under attack, our democracy is under attack, the most basic human rights are under attack. So we have a huge opportunity to not fuck this up. Really. Let's get to work. Let's put our differences to the side. And it's time to build something stronger, something different, something for the long haul. Si se puede. Si se puede.
Good morning. Can we all hear me? Yes. Good morning,
Trans
everyone. I would like to start by thanking the organizers of this.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe just an unfortunate woman.
With a shout out to the Winooski EA for.
Oh! This is the teachers union rep, guys. The Winooski EA is the Winooski Education Association or Winooski Educators Association. This is the teachers union we're about to hear from.
I am Erin Carter, and for the past 22 years, I've taught math at Spalding High School in Barrie.
Spalding!
And I saw at least one.
Spalding High School is one of the largest high schools in Vermont. It's a high school I desperately wanted to go to growing up because all my cousins went to Spalding High School, and I didn't live in Barrie. Everyone else lived in Barrie. Barrie was the city. I lived in the town a couple miles south of Barrie called Williamstown, where I went to a shitty high school where I only had 48 kids in my high school graduating class. Do you guys know I went to a really fuck-off small high school? 48 kids in my graduating class. I graduated third, by the way. I probably could have done better, but I didn't really care that much, and I didn't really try, and all that stuff. But I always wanted to go to Spalding High School. I always did, and now I know better.
Former student here today so far, so I'm going to say roll tide. I am a proud member and vice president of the largest union in the state, the Vermont NEA. My fellow 13,000 members and I are also members of our local union. Mine is the Barrie Educators Association and the 3 million strong National Education Association, the largest union in America. A week ago, more than 7 million people from across the country and many more across the globe took to the streets in a peaceful day of solidarity against our wannabe dictator and king.
Wow.
People from all political parties, all walks of life, and all ages said no to kings and yes to America. It was extraordinary. Ordinary people making a powerful statement that is terrifying to those in power. As a union, we were proud to stand shoulder to shoulder, declaring that all people are created equal, that they are endowed with certain unalienable rights, Among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it.
What? Did the head of the Vermont Teachers Union just argue to abolish the government? Did the head of the Vermont Teachers Union just argue to abolish the government? Or she's just saying, you know, we could argue to abolish the government. We could do that. Goro, thanks for the super chat. No kings unless you're in the UK. Then it's no tyrants. Exactly. Again, Teachers Union lady, again, please.
Those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Goro with the $20 Rumble rant. Just so YouTube knows, Rumble is already kicking your guys' ass in super chats. Like Rumble is a small but mighty audience, and they are currently kicking YouTube's ass in super chats. And so if YouTube wants to catch up and you guys want to thank me for the 8 hours of socialism I already watched and then this additional after episode, if you guys want to thank me, feel free to send in a super chat, YouTube. You're being humbled right now over on Rumble. Goro with the $20 super chat. It is very important for people to watch. Why doesn't the administration know the enemy? Everyone should be like, subscribe and share. Yeah, I completely agree, except our administration is incompetent. Like, I wish Trump was the fascist these people think he is, but sadly, they're just incompetent. Let's keep listening.
These words are nearly 250 years old, and they ushered in the American Revolution. But taken alone, they are only words. It took nearly a decade of armed conflict and intense organizing to achieve independence, and it has been messy, violent, heartbreaking work keeping that freedom. Democracy is never a given. It must be cherished, protected, and exercised regularly, or else it devolves in what we're beginning to see today.
Ooh,
concentration of wealth, a disregard of the people among those that govern, and the lying, cheating, subservient supporters of an elected president who views himself more as king than as a fellow citizen. I pledge here today to pick up that mantle. And I'm fortunate enough to belong to a union that fights for our rights. At the bargaining table, at the workplace, at the ballot box, in the halls of power. My union, which is almost 175 years old, and my fellow members fight like hell for each other and for all working people.
Thank you.
We're involved in electoral politics, throwing support behind those politicians who vow to work on behalf of ordinary people and not suck up to the powerful. We're involved in shaping policy from the classroom to the workplace to protections that ensure that no one is denied human dignity or the rights.
Angry Gringo in with the $5 Rumble rant, and I see we do have some new channel members, which I appreciate. Angry Gringo says, no constitutional protections for these communist pigs, no quarter, no mercy, no remorse ever. I totally agree. No constitution protections for communists because communists want to abolish the constitution. Little Bits said, thank you for the 5 channel memberships. Xbox got one, Spawn of Hell got one, Mr. Blue got one, Salty got one, Waterhead got one. Congrats to everyone who got a channel membership. You guys will all be able to join us for Spy Stream tomorrow if you feel so inclined.
Guaranteed by the Constitution, including receiving a first-class education. My union fought for the rights of educators and others to collectively bargain for wages, benefits, and working conditions. This alone has led to better pay and equal treatment for women, who make up 80% of our education workforce.
Thanks, W, for the 7:45 a.m. till now class today. Wonder what Enrique Tarrio did today. Yeah, I've been watching socialism all fucking day. Well, Enrique Tarrio's probably been masturbating or doing something equally stupid and time wasting. But you know, guys, remember, I am secret Antifa. Enrique Tarrio says, pinky swear, trust me, bro. You don't trust that bitch. Yeah, okay, whatever. Spawn of Hell, thank you for the super chat. That lady speaking looks like an extra from 1984. She does a little bit, doesn't she? We put her in a gray uniform. She'd be very 1984.
My union routinely goes to court and the labor board whenever our rights are violated. We've sued employers, agencies, and even governments to ensure that our rights are upheld and respected. My union steadfastly guards the interests of students, no matter where they come from, where they live, or how much money their families have. My union regularly organizes around our shared interess and with others and professionals who work on behalf of our school districts, towns, state, and the nation. And when our contracts are up, and when management treats us with contempt and defiance, we are among the only unions in the state to routinely say enough and hit the picket lines, as we've done since 1978. Since then, my fellow NEA members have gone on strike 27 times, including myself in 2005. As a union, it should be very clear that we don't back down from a fight. And as Americans and as Vermonters, we won't back down from this fight. Like you, I reveled in the huge protest last week. It was inspiring, engaging, and hopeful. But it's one thing to spend a Saturday morning protesting with friends and family. It's quite another to topple the regime that would destroy America.
Oh my God.
Labor unions are the embodiment of the First Amendment to the Constitution.
Not really.
Speech, the right to free association, the right to petition the government for redress of grievances.
Oh my God.
Our unions have done so much to make our state and nation a better place. And we need to do it by organizing at every level.
Wait.
Let's take
Did she just call for the teachers' unions to organize to topple the Trump regime? That's what just happened, right? She just called for the teachers' unions to organize to topple the Trump regime.
That would destroy America.
Thank you, hang on, we're gonna go one more.
Spend a Saturday morning protesting with friends and family. It's quite another to topple the regime that would destroy America.
Yeah.
Labor unions are the embodiment of the First Amendment to the Constitution. The right to free speech, the right to free association, the right to petition the government for redress of grievances. Our unions have done so much to make our state and nation a better place. And we need to do it by organizing at every level. Let's take everything we learned today and get to work. And like we've done for almost 2 centuries, when we fight, we win.
Wow.
Everybody, we're going to welcome Jana from Free Her, who's joining us real closely.
Oh, another brown person. Good.
Big girl, I seen my friend John.
Why? What is going on? Yes, it's like the 5-minute, hey, what the fuck is this? Oh, she's gonna give a speech. They're figuring it out. They're working it out.
No worries. Hello, everyone. My name is Jana Ossoff. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm one of the organizers with Free Her Vermont. We're a people-powered group of prison abolitionists fighting back against prison construction in Vermont and working to close our one women's prison in Vermont. I'm so sorry I wish nothing more, but I'm not feeling well and do not want to put anyone at risk, especially our disabled community. But I extend my deepest gratitude to everyone coming together today to reflect on and strategize around the escalating conditions of our world. This type of care and acceptance of responsibility to help work through the crises we face sets the stage for lasting change. And it's essential to reflect on why we resist, because winning requires clarity. and it also requires tremendous sacrifice. A quote has been echoing through me, passed down, I believe, from ancestors who revolted against enslavement. There are worse things than death. What I hear in that is this: our fear of loss, whether it be jobs, relationships, safety, or even our own lives, is nothing compared to the cost of not fighting back. If fear paralyzes us, we risk losing any semblance of freedom, and worse, our humanity. What we're witnessing is the resurgence of the carceral state. This administration's war, both at home and abroad, is expanding.
Pop quiz for the chat. Why are communists against prisons? Why are socialists against prisons? Why do socialists... They abolish the police, defund the police. It came from the far left. Why? Can someone please explain clearly as the... Imagine you're talking to someone who doesn't understand anything and they're like, why is the left always talking about the police and prisons? Why? Like, why? Why does the left want to get rid of the police? Explain it to me like you're explaining it to a newbie. Because the police uphold private property. Well, correct, but a newbie's not going to understand what that means. Because they believe capitalism created all crimes and cops should uphold capitalism. That's true. The police are the enforcers of capitalism. That's true. The police protect private property. Prisons enforce property. The police are the enforcers of capitalism. Exactly. They think the cops they think the cops protect capitalism. They blame society for creating the conditions that cause a person to commit a crime. Almost. They blame capitalism for creating the conditions that cause the person to commit a crime. And then the police arrest the person who committed the crime. And then they're the upholders of capitalism as a result of that. Let's see. Police are the managers of private property. Prisons represent borders. Socialists want to eliminate all borders so they can be free in the world. That is a good point. They do believe the police are the same as ICE. So that's a good point. Socialists are generally against prisons because they view the carceral system as a tool for maintaining capitalist class power and social inequality. So you guys are so good. You guys know more about the left than anyone on the internet. Well done. Sorry if I didn't get to your answer, but well done to everyone who got it right.
Systems of violence. ICE has received $30 billion for deportation operations and $45 billion for the creation of detention centers. Police repression is escalating and the National Guard is being deployed against our communities. These are not isolated incidents. They are coordinated strategies of containment and control. And Black and brown people bear the brunt of this as the primary targets of violence.
Ooh.
This is clear with the administration's attacks on cities like New York, LA, and Chicago. We must resist this. And in Vermont, we see it in the push for a $97 million women's prison. While our system has one of the worst racial disparity rates regarding how many Black people we incarcerate and has been utilized for over 600 kidnappings of immigrants since January.
600 kidnappings.
We demand care, not cages, as resistance against the billionaire agenda because we know prisons do not address the root causes of harm and instead perpetuate violence in our communities, serving as modern-day plantations, exploiting more than $11 billion of services and goods from incarcerated workers annually. This is a lucrative business, and the rich wish to enslave us by ensuring more of us become fodder for prisons. The Vermont Department of Corrections alone receives $189 million annually to lock up around 1,500 Vermonters. Imagine a world where that money would flow into life-affirming programming with proven results, like the Howard Center, Pathways Vermont, or Jenna's Promise. This would enable us to begin addressing what really leads people to incarceration, which more often than not is poverty, mental health, substance use, or a combination of all three. The prison industrial complex consisting of the military, ICE, prisons, and police must be abolished.
What was that? There was a skip there, so I just want to make sure people heard it.
Substance use or a combination of all three. The prison industrial complex consisting of the military, ICE, prisons, and police must be abolished.
The military industrial complex consisting of the police, ICE, prisons, and what?
All three. The prison industrial complex consisting of the military, ICE, prisons, and police must be abolished.
Okay, so it's the prison industrial complex consisting of the military, ICE, the police, and what? Sorry. It's been a long day, guys. Sorry.
All three. The prison industrial complex consisting of the military, ICE, prisons, and police.
Military, ICE, prisons, and police. Okay, the prison industrial complex consists of military, ICE, the prisons, and the police. DHS is also going to be included in that because they would put that under military. Does everyone understand that? They want to abolish all of those. Military, ICE, prison, and police.
Must be abolished. The administration will not be able to carry out its sinister agenda without this interconnected system of violence. As many of us are pushed into poverty and criminalization, it is vital that our strategy of resistance includes abolition.
Abolition means abolish.
Currently, 40 states are planning or actively constructing new prisons, signaling that our government will answer our calls of desperation with more violence and containment. That must shape how we move forward. And remember that the abolitionist fight for racial justice and liberation is not separate from economic justice.
Oh,
it is central to working class resistance. The same systems that criminalize Black and brown bodies also exploit labor, suppress wages, and dismantle social safety nets.
That's capitalism.
Our liberation is bound together, and our resistance must be too. Itself unless we stop relying on corrupt institutions that do not serve us. We rely on their resources because we are not yet organized enough to survive without them. It is imperative that this changes. We need the proliferation of mutual aid networks, cooperative businesses.
I'm sorry, what was that? Was that mutual aid? Why would, riddle me this. Why would a communist want to expand mutual aid networks? Why might expanding mutual aid networks be beneficial for the far left? Why do you think that's a priority for them? Did she just say we need to expand Soros funding? Okay, like, hang on, stop. Everyone saying this person is trans in the chat, please shut the fuck up. They're not trans. Shut the fuck up with your stupid fucking retard conservative jokes and listen to what's being said. If you can't answer this question, but you're making comments about this woman's fucking gender, then shut the fuck up. Like, literally shut the fuck up. Why is the communist saying we need to expand mutual aid networks? Let me see. Because mutual aid networks is how they are funded. They are not getting a check from George Soros. When they want to expand mutual aid networks, it's because that is how their activities are funded. Mutual aid networks are how their activities are funded. They didn't say, we need to expand that sweet, sweet Soros funding. They said, we need to expand mutual aid networks because mutual aid is literally how they are funded. Does everyone understand? Or are we still making jokes about gender?
Survive without them. It is imperative that this changes. We need the proliferation of mutual aid networks, cooperative businesses, wealth redistribution networks, and collectively owned housing. The mutual aid networks Vermont communities have been steadily building around climate resilience, and the circulation of food and other resources should be poured into by all of us. This is the
Did you not listen to the video I played at the beginning of the stream in which I said this is a serious research stream in a class, and I don't give a flying fuck what you find funny. We are not here to own the libs today. If you want to go own the libs, go back to fucking Twitter, go to Fox News' Facebook page, go anywhere else that is not a serious place to study the left. I do not want to fucking hear it. I watched 8 hours of socialism in private before I even started this stream today. I am not in the mood for this shit.
Future, and turning to community is the only solution. It's also important we build communities that disrupt capitalist ideas of who we're responsible for.
The magic word. Everyone listen.
By all of us. This is the future, and turning to community is the only solution.
I'm sorry. Are you smart enough to be here? Do you ever have any answers, or do you just ramble? What's your question? What is your question? What is your question? Rems, I don't even know how to say your fucking stupid ass name. What is your question? Put it in the chat now. If you don't put it in the chat now, you're going to get permanently banned from the channel, so we don't have to listen to you again. What is your question? We're waiting. You have 20 seconds. You're just rambling. What's your fucking question? 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Oh, no, that's not a question. That's not a... Guys, do you want to know what the quickest way to get banned on my channel is? You do this. Do you put your question in the fucking chat? You've got 15 seconds to ask an actual question. And in the meantime, we're going to mock you and bully you because you're not smart enough to be on this fucking channel. Everyone in the chat needs to bully this person right now. You have been complaining for a long time now, and you never have a counter to what they're saying. Ask... Oh, you must be in JD DeLay's audience. Or Enrique Tarrio's audience. You're watching a lot of stupid people on the internet. I'm very sorry, loser. You're not smart enough to be here. Permanently banned. Goodbye. Now everyone listen.
Solution. It's also important we build communities that disrupt capitalist ideas of who we're responsible for. By redefining family, creating cultures of mutual aid and cooperative economics, and fostering non-violent, consensual methods of accountability, we create a community wherein everyone thrives and is safe. This is truly how we win. I wish to leave hope before I close. The movement is currently celebrating the failed attempt to build a new prison.
I didn't even hear the redefining family bit. Hang on, again. I was so busy yelling at that retard.
Solution. It's also important we build communities that disrupt capitalist ideas of who we're responsible for. By redefining family, creating cultures of mutual aid and cooperative economics, and fostering
She didn't even just say redefining family. She said redefining family and creating cultures of mutual aid. Second mention for mutual aid in this presentation, which means these people are funded by mutual aid. These people are not funded by George Soros. Only retard conservatives think that these people are funded by George Soros. These people are funded by mutual aid. That's why they keep talking about mutual aid. They are not talking about George Soros. They are talking about mutual aid because mutual aid in creating communities of mutual aid is what funds what they do. Listen.
Of food and other resources should be poured into by all of us. This is the future, and turning to community is the only solution. It's also important we build communities that disrupt capitalist ideas of who we're responsible for. By redefining family, creating cultures of mutual aid and cooperative economics, and fostering non-violent, consensual methods of accountability, we create a community wherein everyone thrives and is safe.
So we have a newcomer. Welcome, Brett. I'm new here. What does mutual aid mean? Mutual aid essentially means small donations that the community makes to each other. So it's basically like you're giving, like, they are self-funding what they're doing, because they go out to the community when they want to do something and they say, hey, we need to raise money for this, and the community either gives them money or they donate like goods, supplies, food, sometimes services, whatever. But it's like, it's basically this whole idea. What she actually said is, we need to undo capitalist culture, we need to redefine the nuclear family. What she's saying is that everyone takes care of each other. We need to create a culture of mutual aid. We need to create a culture of, we fund what we want. It's a community thing, it's a collectivist thing. So it's that's what it is. It's small donations, usually made in cash. No, there's no secret Soros money going to mutual aid, guys. Mutual aid tends to be very, very, very low money, but it is them funding each other, which is much harder to deal with than a Soros boogeyman constantly flying above them. They all have jobs. They all have jobs. If any conservative retard says in my chat tonight these people don't have jobs, I'm going to lose my shit. They all have jobs. It is retarded to think they don't have jobs.
This is truly how we win. I wish we could hope before I close. The movement is currently celebrating the failed attempt to build a new prison in Essex. Elements rejected a zoning request change that would allow the state to construct the prison there. So let this serve as a symbol that when we fight, we win. Assad Shakur reminds us, it is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. There were people involved in this effort at every level, from emailing to protesting to overall.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? They don't have jobs? They don't have good jobs? You've got the president of the Vermont Education Association, who's also a teacher at one of the biggest high schools in Vermont. You've got the head of the employees union at the University of Vermont. There is almost no better job than you can get in the state of Vermont than at the University of Vermont. You have another woman who's like, are you fucking stupid? Are you They don't have good jobs. They're literally educating your fucking kids. Do you want to know who's educating your kids? The people in this presentation. They don't have good jobs. They don't. Are you fucking stupid? Almost every teacher in public schools, almost every professor in higher education, almost every faculty or staff member in higher education, almost every fucking librarian. These are the people educating your children, and you don't even know it because you need to convince yourself that they just have shitty jobs, or they probably have no jobs, and they're just losers that don't want to work, and they just want free stuff. Are you fucking stupid? You know, conservatives talk about the indoctrination that goes on in schools. Who do you think is doing the indoctrinating, you fucking retards? Conservatives bitch, whine, and complain about the indoctrination in schools all the time. And then you say they have jobs. They say, no, they don't have jobs. They're not good jobs at all. Who do you think is doing the indoctrinating? Jesus Christ.
All loving your community deeply enough to join a movement most seem ludicrous. So do not think your actions don't matter. Every act towards a better world plants a seed we will later sow. Many told us we did not have a chance, but we proved that when we have the will to fight, a passion and deep love for our community, and when we dare to dream of freedom, we will win.
Wow, what a powerful way to start the day.
Yeah, very powerful, deeply powerful. Albert, that is so true. I work in a school district. It's right. The teachers, the government jobs, respreading this shit constantly. They're doing it to 6- and 7-year-olds. Yes, they are. These are your kids' teachers. I have driven myself to within an inch of my own fucking sanity. That's how I do this. You want to know why I yell on the internet? Because I literally watched 8 hours of this shit already today before I watched the stream, and I have driven myself to the absolute brink of insanity to educate people what's going on. And conservative retards are so stupid, they call me secret Antifa because they're not smart enough to understand exactly what we're doing. That's how I do it.
Please give a final round for all of our.
All right. Presentation 1 over. We got to get a presentation 2. This is so we just watched that was the opening keynote from this conference. This is the closing keynote. No. Ban. Actually, timeout. I'm giving you a timeout. You do not tell me to calm down. You can sit on your ass for 5 minutes and think about it. And the only reason you weren't just permanently banned is you're a YouTube channel member. That's it. All right. We are now watching the closing keynote from the People's Summit. And I have to be done in probably about 40 minutes. And it's a 30-minute presentation. I missed a super chat. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry, Andre. I missed your super chat. Karlyn, explain to the conservative illiterates what that the communists have very good paid jobs. Top pay their mutual aid yearly, far left parties dues. Yeah, well, they have very good jobs. I don't know that they pay party dues, but they do have very good jobs. That's true enough. Thank you for the super chat. All right. Let's get into this presentation, and hopefully I can get it done on time. I appreciate everyone being here. Apologies for those who are not being retards in my chat for you having to listen to me yell at retards, but that's what we do on this channel. We yell at retards and we bully retards, and then the retards have a choice. They can either get with the fucking program or they can go cry somewhere else on the internet. But we are now entering the era of we are proactively bullying people until they start to shut the fuck up and listen. And the people who want to rise to the top will rise, and the people who don't want to will not. And that's cool. Some mutual aid daily fee. Hey, I appreciate that, Doug. Everyone get your mutual aid payment in. We got one more presentation to do. Hang on, we got another mutual aid payment. Awesome. These creeps are the one collecting data and spying on your family. So true, Kristen and Harold. So very true. We got Angry Gringo over on Rumble with a $5. I'm going to start calling Super Chats mutual aid with a $5 mutual aid donation. Everything that is being said in these streams are bullet points you have mentioned many times. Pupils, pay freaking attention. You need to be exponentially more mean. I got people. Listen, guys, listen. For everyone who thinks I'm too mean, just keep in mind, I literally just got someone paying me money. Someone just paid me money to say, Karlyn, you need to be more mean than what you're being. So everyone thinks I like the paying members of my audience want me to be more mean to the retards. Keep that in mind. Every time you complain about me having a tone or an attitude, or I said something you didn't like, or I hurt your precious fucking feelings, people who pay me money want me to be even meaner to you. $5 fee. Thank you, average person. I appreciate that. We got Wit in with the $10 mutual aid, the bully fund. People are paying me money to be meaner to the retards. You want to know why that is? Because I am not the only person who is sick of your shit, conservatives. I am not the only person who is sick of low IQ people thinking they know everything, destroying everything for the rest of us that don't know because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Anyway. No, unions are a separate thing. There are a lot of people in unions who do mutual aid, but the unions are separate from mutual aid, though. That is a good question, though, Alan. That is actually a really good question. That is a good question. All right, let's keep going. Thanks, Trendlin. I appreciate it. Yo!
Hey, folks.
Yo! What was that sign? Hang on. Azerwing, thank you. Look at this. Guys, they're showing us the vendors. Azerwing, Berate Me, Cult Leader. Oh, I will, darling. I will. Thank you for that. Gate Fun and Concord Chats. I appreciate that. Look at the tablers at this thing. Free Palestine, but watch this. What's that? What's this big yellow table right here? Where have we seen this before? Where have we... What's this? Does anyone know what this is? Tempest Collective. Tempest Collective. The Tempest Collective. The Tempest Collective. The Tempest Collective is a radical revolutionary socialist collective. They organize nationwide. These are people who don't participate in elections. These people want to overthrow the government. They say so on their website, that they literally, their goal is to overthrow the capitalist government. They don't even participate in elections because they are farther left than that. They don't think elections are going to get to what they want. So the Tempest Collective, actually, it is organized nationwide, but there is a very, very, very active Tempest Collective in Vermont. Okay. And we've actually seen the most activity from the Tempest Collective out of Vermont lately. So it doesn't surprise me that they're there. But isn't that funny? Tempest Collective, front and center, with a table at the communist organizing meeting in Vermont. There's your Downsy donation. Thank you, Murphy Spool. Thank you for your Downsy donation. I appreciate it. I am afraid, very afraid. I'm learning to stand up for myself. Thank you. What is the Tempest Collective? We've actually done streams on the Tempest Collective before, guys. So if you've never heard me talk about the Tempest Collective and you got like a couple free hours after this, just look up the Tempest Collective on the stream because we've done multiple streams about them. But they are very, very, very far left. They are revolutionary. I've been covering them for years. They pop up in weird places. I was worried about your heart and health, not boss. Okay, I don't know what that fucking means, but thank you for the $2. I have seen this is for the troll in the chat. I've seen actual lessons planned for kindergarten teachers to push this ideology in their classes. Yeah, we have, haven't we? Is it time to ban that guy? Is it time to ban that guy? We might need to ban him. If I see you, listen, asshole, if I see you, I'm not talking to you, Tolkien fan, this RJW, you troll one more time in the chat, permanent ban.
Hey folks, I'm Merrick Broderick. I'm here at the Winooski School District at the People's Summit, and I believe that this event is an amazing opportunity and an amazing gathering of folks representing tons of organizations. I'm right here at the table for the Democratic Socialists of America and the United Electric Workers. And
DSA.
This is just an incredible gathering of people representing movements and organizations for tons of causes, from
tons of social justice causes. Thank you for the $20 super chat. When these people take over, what would be the role of leftist commentators like Hassan? Okay, none of those people are actual communists. You guys understand this. Hassan Piker is not a communist. Kyle Kalinske is not a communist. Crystal Ball is not a communist. Sam Cedar is not a communist. They're all progressives. Those are not communists. I understand why it's confusing because they say they're communists and they're more left-leaning, and you guys, generally speaking, don't know how to distinguish. Hassan Piker might be the closest to being a communist, but he's not really a communist. And even though he spoke at the DSA meeting over the summer, you have to understand that most real communists don't even think the DSA is communist. So I'm going to say that none of them are communists. So just like everyone else, they would probably be just like entertainers, to be honest. They'd probably be like sucked into the regime. But like, listen, you guys have got to stop. Listen, communists actually fucking hate YouTube. Like, they hate it. They don't like people with YouTube channels. They don't respect people with YouTube channels. And so, like, anytime you see like a left-leaning personality and they may even call themselves a communist, be very suspicious, because usually they are not communists at all in any way. And those people are definitely not communists.
From Palestine to labor to migrant justice. And this is what our movement needs to be like. This is one struggle. This is tons of people working together in concert to achieve the world that we are looking for. and I think that's
Communist.
amazing. So thank you.
A
This
communist
organizing
world.
the People Summit, the reason for it is because the government are not serving the people, and the government
Free
taking the people's
Palestine.
right, if it is the civil rights for people of colors, or the rights of the laborers, and of course for us, the Palestinians.
Yeah, well, the RC, they use YouTube. I'm not saying the groups. I'm saying the individuals. The RCA has a group YouTube channel. The Tempest Collective has a group YouTube channel. The Denver Communists have a group YouTube channel. The Seattle Revolutionary Socialists have a group YouTube channel. Haymarket Books has a group YouTube channel. I'm talking about like streamers. There are no communist streamers like that are individuals. That's not how they operate. They do not look at themselves as individuals. They don't want individuals to separate themselves from the group. And streaming is an inherently capitalist thing. So when communists are doing YouTube channels, they're probably not even monetizing the channel, to be honest with you. They might monetize it, but they're not thinking about it as a business or a way to make money. Professional streamers are doing it as a business. It is a completely different mentality. I understand why you're confused though, because I think you're still relatively new, but I understand why you're confused. What would you recommend the right do to start organizing like they do? The first thing the right needs to do is listen and learn. I don't know if you've ever talked about this before. I have talked about this 8,000 ways from Sunday. I have done videos on this. I've written articles about this. I've done podcasts on this. The number one thing the right needs to do is shut the fuck up, sit down, acknowledge that they don't know shit when it comes to the left, and they need to learn what's actually going on. And until the right does that, they are going to continue to lose. There is nothing that the right can do until they learn what the left actually is, what their language means, what their strategies are. And the right does not know that right now. But the problem is many of them think they know, but they really have no fucking idea what they're talking about. So everyone needs to sit down, shut the fuck up, listen to the left, and actually learn what's going on. And then if they aren't willing to do that, they will lose. My whole family appreciates your hard work. Thank you, Ocped's World. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I got one more. Azure Wing, in honor of the MacArthurism spotlighting you, should put the t-shirt on sale, make McCarlinism. I think you mean McCarlinism great again. MacArthurism? I don't know. What shirt are you talking about? The McCarthy shirt? I'm going to be doing a sale on the McCarthy shirts, but I'm going to be making a McCarlinism shirt as well. Thank you, Azure Wang, for the super chat. I was going to be like MacArthur. I was like MacArthur or McCarthy. I was like, okay. I am going to be doing a sale on those McCarthy shirts, though. They told us in the early 60s they will infiltrate every level of education. It was ignored, and now we're seeing the results. Exactly. All right.
In solidarity group, we are feeling we are losing our freedom of speech and the First Amendment rights.
You are not
came
American.
over here as people to unite together and to fight a government that doesn't respect the people and doesn't serve the people. So for that, I think Burlington going to
good. I would appreciate
and
that.
Vermont in general going to be a pioneer for a movement where the people can say what they want and to what direction and how to be governed. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this final plenary this evening. My name is Elizabeth Dunford. I'm a proud union member of Union Staff United.
They have a job.
And a member of the Vermont May Day Coalition team.
Oh! May Day.
Our coalition helped plan May Day 2025 this year. Labor Day 2025, and now the People's Summit and beyond. Thank you to every single person, 275 people in fact, that came out today as fellow unionists. Activists, and resistors while we face the existential threats of Donald Trump and the billionaire class.
There is so much at stake, and there is so much to win. Fighting against these forces is going to take a lot of long-term work, but we all have a collective future that is worth struggling for. And it has been so heartening seeing everyone building resistance in real tangible ways today at the summit.
Yes,
We need
very
those
enheartening.
skills so that our hopes for a future free of oppression, degradation,
Capitalism.
and injustice can be a reality.
Capitalism.
We have a really excellent final closing panel for you today, covering topics ranging from Palestine
I'm not about to smoke a
solidarity,
joint on the internet. You guys don't see this right now. It's not happening.
and the need for a general
It's been a
strike
long
that
general
necessitates
strike.
a working class resistance.
Oh, hello. Hello. I was focused on weed. Hello. Say that again.
From Palestine solidarity, attacks on Medicaid and the poor, and the need for a general strike that necessitates a working class resistance.
Obviously, it's an anxiety pen, yeah.
Must organize towards. Before we get to this final closing plenary, I do have a couple of housekeeping notes. Firstly, thank you to everyone who joined us in making the People's Summit actually happen.
Yep. Great. Great job, guys.
This kind of event requires engaged participation. We'd also like to thank every single social organization, political organization, and union who endorsed this event. Such a wide base of groups came together in support of the People's Summit, sharing information with their members, flying all over at a ton of different events, posting on social media, and showing up to our organizing committee meetings. Thank you to every volunteer and organizer here today who kept the event running so smoothly. Additionally, thank you to the Winooski Education Association.
Thank you, Vermont Teachers Union. Thank you for supporting communism.
Hosting us in their workplace. And as a final quick thank you to Matt Guile, the librarian right here.
Trendlin, listen. I have something I need to do at 10 p.m. I don't have the time to do the fucking penguin video tonight. Maybe another day this week. We'll see. I appreciate the request. I'm going to veto it for right now because I have something I need. Trendlin, I am on a time crunch here. Be respectful of my time, please. Reclaiming my time, Trendlin.
Who really made all of this possible. Secondly, if you are able to, please donate to the Vermont Made a Strong Coalition. This money goes towards paying the many fees.
I'm doing some stupid interview at 10. I don't even remember who it's with. I just know they're going to send me a DM.
Efforts in the future to May Day 2026 and beyond. Lastly, the Vermont Made a Strong Coalition will be holding a meeting at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, November 11th at the Migrant Justice Office in Burlington.
Oh, yeah?
Please come to this meeting as we organize and plan next steps on the way to May Day 2026. We need you there.
Oh, they're already planning for next May. Great.
I want to introduce our
Great.
speakers for this closing plenary. We have Wafid Four from the Vermont Coalition for Palestinian Liberation. Do you want to go ahead and come on up? Or not Reed, sorry. Wafid.
Thank you. I'll start by saying an injury to one is an injury to all.
Oh,
injury
hey,
to
thank
one
you. I appreciate that.
is an injury to all.
Let's all chant
Injury
together in
to
solidarity.
one is injury to all. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
I will start by a note. There is never in history that a city forced an imperial power and 20 other Zionist country around it to come all together to sign a ceasefire. Gaza did that.
I told you the prayer room was about Muslims, by the way.
Did that because it has all the warmth, the support that we felt it from around the world. And from here, from Vermont.
For people who weren't here at the beginning, they said an injury to one is an injury to all, not an injury to mom. An injury to one is an injury to all. ALL. It means everyone is oppressed by capitalism.
We work around the clock to give support.
They're not pro-Muslim. Communists are not pro-Muslim. Communists believe that Ukraine are the settler colonists who stole the land from the Palestinians. They're not Ukraine. I'm sorry. Hang on. Communists believe that Israel are the settler colonists who stole the land from the Palestinians. It has nothing to do with Israel being Jewish. It has to do with them being the colonizers, the private property owners, the bourgeois, the oppressors. Palestinians are the oppressed, the indigenous, the people who had their land stolen. It has nothing to do with them being Muslim. It has to do with the Israelis taking the land from the Palestinians. That is the issue.
But we discover that this country is a racist country when it comes to the right of the Palestinians.
Wow.
And they try to silence us, as you remember, when Free Palestine.
Listen, I've had a long day, Musican. Shut up.
Anti-Semitic slogan. Freedom of speech. It was the litmus test.
Then go back to your own country, comrade.
If this country is a democracy or a dictatorship.
1 for deport, 2 for he can stay. 1 in the chat for deport, 2 in the chat for he can stay. Thank you, Biotechnic. I appreciate that. 1 for deport, 2 for he can stay.
Have been organized just because Trump is a president and he's taking our rights, taking the civil rights, playing as a king or dictator.
We sent him to one zine fest, and now he's a communist.
People, when they see us wearing kufiya or carrying Palestinian flags, majority of them, we call them liberal white American, they feel dismayed to see such signs for Palestine. We have to remind them.
He's shitting on the liberals.
It doesn't mean if Trump leaves that our rights will come automatically with the Democratic
All right, Stephen,
Party.
it's okay.
We're going to judge both on the same scale, and we're going to vote, and we're going to rally until we get our right. All of us. All of us. It is surprising that 77% of the Democratic Party, they call what happened in Palestine, Israel, a genocide. 59% of the country do. Those are the people. As a matter of fact, Vermont Coalition for Palestinian Liberation discovered that long before. Yeah. 2 years ago, we challenged them. We went against the tide, and we challenged them that the people can speak about it. And we won, and we will win. In apartheid-free community, it is not only about Palestine, about the question of racism here and abroad. Apartheid is one of them. For that, we are calling all the unions, all the people who want to work for peace. Do you like peace? Do you want peace? Yeah, but you have to recognize what is the problem over there. It's on top of occupation, of genocide, of starvation. There is a case of apartheid that only American, if they decided to push for peace, they have to decide what to do in their municipalities. And we have to make Vermont the first state apartheid-free community.
You do not speak English, sir.
We cannot do that without understanding what kind of liberation we want to work on here at home. Without collective liberation, without remembering the indigenous people, the black and brown people, without working together with our migrants, with our families of LGBTQ, and of course, with our labels, we will never win. Not any of us will win. So we'll say again, injury to one is injury to all. Injury to one is injury to all. Injury to one is injury to all.
Thank you, Rafik. Up next, we have Fareed Gunarsha from the People's Kitchen and Vermont Workers Center.
The People's Kitchen and Vermont Workers Center? What the fuck? All right, I'm going to say this again because someone wasn't listening the first time I said this. You're not listening to what I'm saying. The thing that what you're trying to do is you don't like the first answer I gave you. You think you're the first conservative to do this to me? What's going on is you asked me, what do conservatives need to do? And I said they need to shut the fuck up and listen and learn. And you didn't like that answer because you feel like you're not doing something if you do that. So now you're coming back with a different question because you're trying to get me to give you a different answer. You're saying, no, Karlyn, you don't understand. We don't want to listen and learn. We want something to do. So can you just give us something to do? No. What you need to do is shut the fuck up, sit down, open your ears, understand you don't know shit about shit, and you need to learn about the left. You need to listen to them. You need to learn to speak their language. You need to learn how they're organizing. You need to unlearn all the conservative bullshit narratives, and you need to stop deflecting on this fucking issue. Do not ask this question again. I told you what you need to do. That is the only answer that you are ever going to get from me. You are not going to get a different answer by asking the question in a different way. Sit down, shut the fuck up, open your ears, unlearn everything you think you know, and you will know what the answer to the question is after you do that.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you for coming and thank you for having me here. My name is Fareed. I am a member of the Vermont Workers Center and a project coordinator for the People's Kitchen Project. We usually distribute food. We have a weekly distribution.
Hey, thanks. Cynthia's back.
Every Friday.
Cynthia, queen of the membership. Congrats to everyone who got a membership.
We're providing hunger relief for mostly our homeless neighbors, but also anybody who wants food. And last night is one of our regular distro.
Distro. Isn't that funny? One of the things I said to Enrique Tarrio yesterday when he was doing that hit piece on me is I said to him, Enrique, do you know the most common names of Antifa organizations? And Enrique Tarrio said, no, I have no idea, because Enrique Tarrio is a fucking retard. And so I said, again, you think you're going to defeat Antifa, but you don't know the most common names of Antifa organizations? And again, Enrique Tarrio looked like he didn't know what the fuck I was talking about because Enrique Tarrio doesn't know shit about shit. But I said to Enrique Tarrio, the most common names of Antifa organizations are InfoShop, Distro, and Collective. What did we just hear this person say? Yeah, it's InfoShop, Distro, and Collective. We just heard this person say Distro. Let me get this super chat. Outdoors. Socialism Saturday is like bad medicine, necessary for education, but it doesn't sit well. Well, you get used to that. You get used to it, or you start drinking or smoking weed. Either way, or all three. Doesn't really matter, I guess. Listen again.
Neighbors, but also anybody who wants food. And last night is one of our regular distro night. And we showed up there. When we showed up there, it was around 10 o'clock. There were 10.
Distro means distribution. It's like commonly related to like mutual aid or propaganda. So distro is short for, so they're giving something to the community. Distro means distribute, giving something to the community. But it's also just an Antifa front thing. Like it's always Antifa.
And police cruisers downtown. And one of the homeless folks were out on the street having been knocked out by the cops. I don't know if you have seen recently, Phil Scott issued this directive about what to do about Burlington's problem and how he's going to help us. And among them is like stronger enforcement. Yeah. And this is the best they can do.
Oh, ice protest
If,
with smoke
you know,
tomorrow? Okay.
We see Phil
Yep,
Scott
makes sense.
about 3 months ago refusing to extend the motel voucher program, actually causing the homelessness issue that Burlington have been dealing with to worsen. We saw people, we saw kids now living on the street. We saw people who were on wheelchairs. We regularly serve food. And for Phil Scott to come out and say this is Burlington's own doing, even though it obviously he has a huge role in it, it's just enraging to me. And so the People's Kitchen Project, as well as our siblings, Do Not Cops, BTP Cop Watch, we are out there on the streets. We're talking to our neighbors. We know that homeless folks, they're the poorest of them all in this society. And they are actually being used to discipline the working class. This is what they use like homelessness for.
Oh,
Being
no.
homeless is not a crime, but homelessness actually is a crime. It's a systemic
no.
crime. It's being committed and perpetrated on our class by people in power.
I just realized, I'm pretty sure that the person who asked me to do this interview tonight is connected to Milo Yiannopoulos. Oh no. Oh, I'm about to fucking walk into it, aren't I? Whatever, doesn't matter. Whatever.
And as
Whatever.
workers center, I think it's important for us to recognize that mutual aid, though it's very important, and we need to do that. We need to be able to connect with people and actually provide help to each other. It will only provide relief for whatever it is that we need, hunger, homelessness, and poverty. But to eradicate hunger and to actually house everybody, we need to organize. We need to take it beyond the direct action of mutual aid.
Direct action mutual aid. Uh-oh.
All the others, it doesn't really matter. Like, pick your issues. They're all connected. And for the Vermont Worker Center, one of our major campaign right now is the Nonviolent Medicaid Army. Now, when I first heard the name of the campaign, I was like, let me join the Violent Medicaid Army. I'm just done like taking it. I wish we're not doing this shit like after all these years, right? So, but the more I think about it, it's by no means like, and I'm no pacifist. Like as a Muslim, like like self-defense is not even a right; it's an obligation. The defense of our community, that's an obligation. That's not a right. And so, what that name suggests actually is putting like the spotlight that the violence is from the system. Yes. Hunger is violence. Homelessness is violence. Poverty and misery, that's violence. And we are just out there defending ourselves. We're defending our community by providing relief to those who are hungry and some shelter to those who are unsheltered. But I think what's really important is to keep remembering, like sometimes the best defense is a good offense. And America, I'm an immigrant, we always were suspicious of America, but here's the thing that I always remember, that it's not just the Trumps and the Charlie Kirks of the world. It's also, in America, it's also the John Brown and the other Joe.
No, it's not. It's socialists and communists and progressives. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Sorry. It is not. It is not liberals at ICE. It is socialists and communists and occasionally progressives, and none of those are the same as liberals. Sorry. Yeah, he needs to be deported, for real.
It is a nonviolent one. It's actually, how do we get everybody to do nothing for a day?
How do we get everyone to do nothing?
How do we do that? In general, just like go participate. In general.
This is an interesting question, Alan, and I'm going to think about this, but my initial inclination is I don't see a common character trait. The most common thing is they like, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say that I've seen a common character trait. So I'm gonna think about that one. But I like off the top of my head, I think that might be the wrong direction because I don't see one.
Oh, go on strike. So I think we know the new world is possible. But
The ideology is the common trait. That's true. The ideology is the common trait. It's the ideology.
So much, Reed. Last but not least, we have Andy Blanchett, who's president of AFSCME 1674.
This person looks like the female version of the guy I went to prom with.
Thanks, everybody. Really excited to be up here today. I just want to say, kind of before I get into my spiel, and I forgot my notes, sorry, is that the breakout sessions today were amazing. Yeah. They were excellent. And I just want to shout out to the people who thought of the topics who then went ahead and
probably a
did the
liberal.
work
I think he's still
organized around what we're going to do during these sessions. Those were incredibly productive, and that is the exact reason why we're out in the streets and we're practicing for what I'm going to talk about, which is ideally a general strike in ideally 2 years or sooner. When we are out there practicing, it's important to then go inside with people who are thinking the same way you are and then actually plan out next steps. And I just want to give a round of applause to everybody here who took time out of your Saturday for 10 hours to do that. So well done.
This is really like the female version of the guy I went to prom with. That's crazy. I mean, the guy I went to prom with looks more masculine, but like, if I put I'm not going to show his picture because I don't want to get in trouble for that. But if I put the picture of the guy I went to prom with next to this person, they that's funny. The female version of him. He was a good guy. He was a musician. I always dated musicians when I was younger. Always. I don't have enough whiskey for this crap. Could someone distro some Jim Beam to my house? No, just a drummer. I cannot. But I appreciate the money.
So, Farid, you did a great job segueing into my topic. I just want to say that was excellent.
No, wrong. Shut the fuck up. When I've been telling you, Stanley, that you need to shut the fuck up and listen, you're one of the people I'm talking about. You need to unlearn everything you think you know, because you've already said 2 things tonight that tell me you've been listening to way too many conservative talking points and you think you know things you don't. So no, wrong.
I kind of want to talk a little bit today about the working class and kind of what do I mean by that? And when people are saying, we just need a general strike, what are people actually talking about, right?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think people throw that around and they are, first of all, correct, and I agree 100%. And Kristen Warner earlier today during her training, who is a seasoned 20-year labor organizer, organized nurses out in Las Vegas,
Cynthia, thanks for the channel membership.
Very well today, where
congrats to everyone who got a membership.
But I don't know if people are always thinking about how much work that is. And I want to make sure that we kind of understand today when people are calling for a general strike, that is not something you're going to see on social media that says take work off on Friday and then hopefully everyone does it, and that's a general strike. That is not a general strike. I want to be clear.
True.
A general strike is what got us the New Deal, right? It got us Social Security. And those things came from, first, workers, right? Working class people organizing, whether through official unions or not, right? Sometimes they wouldn't be recognized as unions, but they acted like one. And that is important. When you work together through your collective energy to decide to withhold your labor, that in and of itself is going to be a lot of work. And you need to work with the people within your economic sphere, right? The people that you work with.
Oh, workers, the proletariat.
As the people who you want to work with. But that's who you're going to see every day. You need to get to know those folks. You need to talk to them. You need to ask them what's important to them. Right? We might have great ideas coming out of this conference, but it's important to find out the people who you are talking with, what it is that's important to them. Organizing is listening. Organizing is asking, why does someone think that? And waiting for them to tell you the answer before you tell them your great idea, okay? So when we have successfully demonstrated general strikes in the past, what we've done is we've done that work really, really, really well. We have gotten to know our coworkers extremely well. We have practiced striking for what we need in our workplaces, for example. We have done that repeatedly. That's how you build up to a general strike, which is going to be more than just the people in your direct workplace deciding to withhold our labor to get what we need from this administration, or any administration, I might add. We should be prepared to do this at any time. And I think a really good example of folks who are currently practicing to do this well would be San Francisco educators. I am assuming, because I'm looking out and I see a lot of people I know, that most people are aware of this, but in case you're not, San Francisco educators recently threatened to shut down the city.
Excuse me, Mr. X, are you whining in my chat? I don't see any chat from you. I mean, listen, maybe I went by and I didn't see it. What is your specific question, and why are you whining in my chat because a mod said something you didn't like? Where is your question? Oh, you're asking Andre for examples of something? What is your question? Direct your question to me. What is your question? And I don't ever want to hear fucking whining if a mod says something you don't like again. Grow a thicker fucking skin. What is your question? Waiting. Stop the entire stream just for you. What is your question? You have 20 seconds to answer. I'm permanently banning you from the channel for whining. What is your question? We're waiting. Stop the entire stream just for you, bro. We're waiting. Is he still here? 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, permanent ban it is. Cool.
By striking, if Trump went through with his threat to send in the National Guard to San Francisco, almost immediately with the threat, Trump said, never mind. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. And I think that story is both inspiring and informative. And it is inspiring because
he was a troll. I agree,
Trump
Reagan.
and the other ghouls around him, whether they are also Republicans or not, they are banking. They are putting money down that we are going to be too afraid to do jack shit. They are banking on us being extremely vulnerable and deciding we don't want to risk anything.
Extremely vulnerable.
When we show that we will actually step up and call their bluff, they actually show that they are weak-minded individuals. They actually have nothing to stand on. And they have everything to lose, and we have everything to gain. So just to kind of wrap up a little bit of what I'm talking about, because it's a little rambly and I know it's been a long day. I want to emphasize to folks that if you are in a workplace that has a union,
I'll get that super chat at the end. Thank you.
Getting ready for a general strike is organizing with your direct coworkers, getting to know those people extremely well and finding out what is important to them, and perhaps bringing that practice into the bargaining table first. Get that practice and get some wins, right? So people understand that this is possible. You can win when you're able to take action.
Okay. Clearly my time is not going to be respected tonight by the channel. It's fine. Andre, notice communist strategy. I appreciate the super chat, Andre. That little remark was not directed at you. Notice communist strategy via unions, testing infrastructure and transportation, war logistics in the 2028 general strike. Very astute observation. Meanwhile, the Trump administration isn't even paying attention to this. Exactly. Exactly, Andre. We know what they're doing. They're doing entire presentations about what they're doing, and no one in the Trump administration knows or pays attention to it. Exactly and precisely. When did my approach change to this? 3 fucking years ago. 3 years ago. That's when my approach changed. 3 years ago. Colombian is better than French roast. I mean, that's an opinion. Mr. Doctor, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. I really do appreciate it. All right, guys, we got to wrap this up. I want to finish this talk, and I got to go.
And then build that up from there, and maybe start discussing within your union to your leadership, or if you are a leader, start discussing with fellow members the idea of a general strike. And what would it look like to have to be ready for that? I would also say, if you are someone who is unable to be in a union, that does not mean you cannot organize with your coworkers. You can organize with your coworkers, and you should be organizing with your coworkers at 100%. And finally, if you are someone who is retired,
Cynthia,
and you're like, well,
thank you,
I wanna get
Cynthia.
involved,
Appreciate it.
I'm not exactly sure I have
Congrats
a lot
to
of
everyone to go to
influence.
channel
I wanna
membership.
just assure you, as a retiree,
Let me read this real quick. Have you seen high school or college students go so far as to sell illegal stuff and claim they're just supporting the I mean, yeah, there's drugs in the far left. There's also drugs on the far right, by the way. Like, CPAC is basically like hookers and blow. And I'm not even talking about women hookers. I'm talking about like gay hookers. So yes, there's drugs on the left. There's drugs on the right. Everyone's selling drugs. I wouldn't say high schoolers. I haven't seen that, but definitely that does exist. I appreciate the money.
you have a lot of sway in the state of Vermont. You know, you are someone who would be excellent at joining one of the many social and political organizations that are out there, and getting involved perhaps on electoral politics.
Thanks, James D.
Because you can get to the State House during lunchtime on the weekday, and I can't. So anyway, I just want to share with everybody that everyone in this room is already doing a lot of this work. Shout out to you all.
Brown Barbaloo.
We are all
Thank
constantly
you.
learning from one another, and it's events like this that remind us exactly how much we
Appreciate
have to learn,
it.
and how much we have left to do. So solidarity forever, and
Solidarity,
shout out Holly for
comrade.
coming.
I'm going to make a clip of that presentation because that was actually very important for us to watch. And I wish I had more time to dedicate to it tonight, but I really don't because I got to go because I got an interview at 10 p.m. But guys, remember, we're doing Spy Stream again tomorrow. Make sure you're on the Substack. If you got a YouTube channel membership, you can come to Spy Stream. Check the community tab or the post tab. Congratulations to everyone who got all the YouTube memberships that were given out. Our 22 new members of the channel tonight. That's pretty rad. So I appreciate that. So welcome all newcomers. Remember, you are entitled to come to Spy Stream if you are a supporter on my main Substack, on my locals, on my Patreon, YouTube channel member, Twitter subscriber. Look for the information tomorrow to come to Spy Stream. If you're not yet a member, either become a member of the YouTube channel or go and join my Substack. That is Karlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. You can catch day one's on-demand replay if you would like, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I got to go, guys. We'll take care. See you soon.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here? 3 months, May 17th. And what brought you here? That's difficult to answer. is influencing my thinking and consequently my action.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
Play the piano for the people.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.